Right, big Aduro update today, and I'm going to get straight to it. Aduro and Ecosa have completed phase 1 of their collaboration in Mexico and selected flexible and multi-layer plastic packaging streams that are now advancing into HCT testing. So this is why it caught my attention. The material we're talking about, things like chip bags and pouches, some of the hardest plastic to recycle. And this is a concrete step toward actually doing something with it. So quick introduction, because the partner matters here. ECOCE is a nonprofit set up by Mexico's food and beverage industry to manage and recycle post-consumer packaging waste. They represent more than 400 brands. They're well known for PET recycling, and now they're expanding into the much harder world of flexible packaging. So this isn't happening off in a lab, disconnected from the real world. It connects directly to the brand owners who actually need a credible answer for the hard to recycle packaging. So what did phase 1 actually involve? The collaboration was announced back in December of 2025, and it was built as a phased step-by-step evaluation. And here's the detail worth getting right. ECOSA already runs an ongoing national feedstock mapping program for its member companies. So phase 1 didn't start from a blank page. It drew on that existing program to assess candidate flexible packaging streams and select ones worth advancing, looking to estimate availability, collection, routes, physical form, contamination profile, everything it would take to prepare each stream. So picture ECOSA already running with a running inventory of the national pantry. You know, phase 1 is the two of them walking into that pantry together, deciding which specific ingredients are worth cooking with next. And the headline is that they found candidate streams with enough available volume and the right characteristics to move forward. So how big is the pantry? ECOSA indicates that Mexico generates an estimated 1.5 million tons of flexible plastic packaging every year. So that's the size of the market opportunity, and I want to be clear, I'm not telling you that Aduro is going to ever process all of it, but it does tell you that the raw material problem there is enormous, and enormous problems are the kind that need new solutions. So let me actually explain why this material is so difficult, because it's at the heart of it. And a lot of flexible packaging is what's called multi-layer. Think about a bag of chips or a pouch of pet food. That, to keep the food fresh, the packaging isn't just one material, it's several different ones layered together in a thin stack, maybe a couple of different plastics, sometimes a whisper thin layer of aluminum plus adhesive and printing inks. And each layer does a job. One blocks oxygen, one blocks moisture, and one takes the printing. So one gives it strength. It's genuinely complex and clever engineering, but that cleverness is what makes the recycling nightmare. So normal mechanical recycling needs clean, single, uniform streams of one plastic that it can shred, melt, and remold. Multi-layer is the opposite of clean and single. It's many materials fused together that you can't easily pull back apart. So the way I think about it is like a water bottle is like a tub of one color Lego. You can snap it apart, build something new, no problem, which is why bottles actually get recycled. Multi-layer chip bags, it's like a birthday cake. Flour, eggs, sugar, all baked in together, and there's no getting the eggs back out. Mechanical recycling only really knows how to handle the Lego. So most multi-layer packaging, the cake has nowhere good to go. It gets landfilled and burned. So high volume, real everyday material, and almost no recycling route. So the gap is the whole reason this is interesting. And for a little more context on the Aduro release, and I think this actually matters as the backdrop, earlier this year in January, Mexico passed its first general law on circular economy. For the first time at the national level, it puts extended producer responsibility on the books, and plastics are named as a priority. So in plain terms, the responsibility for what happens to packaging after you toss it is starting to shift from cities and taxpayers to the brands that put it on the shelf. And I want to be accurate here, so let me be careful. The framework, this is a framework law. The detailed obligations are still being written and phased in, so it's not a switch that flipped overnight, but the direction of travel is clear, honestly, all across the globe. But brands are going to be increasingly responsible for their packaging, especially the hard to recycle kind. This is the exact pressure that makes credible recovery options worth evaluating. It doesn't promise business to anyone. It is simply why a room full of 400 plus brands is motivated to go looking for answers. So, you know, where does the Aduro fit in? This is where HCT is designed to work. Per the wire, Aduro's hydrochemolytic platform uses water as a critical agent and runs at relatively low temperatures and costs. We already know that, but the idea is to take streams that other methods leave behind and recover the hydrocarbon value locked inside of them so it can head back towards a plastic value chain as a liquid product. So the important words there are designed to, it hasn't been run yet, so these specific Mexican streams haven't gone through HCT yet. That's what the next phase is, to test whether the chemistry delivers on them. That's the whole point of testing. So what happens next is Aduro starts lab scale evaluations, looking at how these streams behave, processability, product characteristics, yield, residues, contaminant behaviors, all the things, and the overall mass balance. I think we're going to be hearing about mass balance a lot more. But as part of this, Adrian Velasco, ECOCE's Director of Flexibility Plastics Packaging, is set to visit Aduro's facilities to review the testing pathway, sample requirements, and the pilot scale development program. So per the wire, if the lab scale results are successful, the program can progress to phase 3 on the NGP plant for scale-up assessment. So customer evaluation and future commercial analysis, look at the shape of that pathway, map it, and select the feedstock. Test it small, then if it earns it, test it at pilot scale. So that measured, prove it first sequence is how Aduro tends to move, and that's a cadence that I'm comfortable with here. So where I land as a shareholder, and this part is my hope not fact, I would love to see these streams test well, and I would love to see a market the size of Mexico's flexible packaging problem become part of the Aduro story. So that connection to hundreds of brands against a backdrop of tightening rules is genuinely exciting to me. As always, I'm a shareholder. This is not financial advice. Do your own due diligence, and happy trading.